Hello students, I am Jay Patel. I am going to teach you 10th standard physics. Students, last time we have discussed lesson number 13, magnetic effects of electric current. Students, in first video we have already discussed about right hand thumb rule. We have also discussed about which type of pattern can be formed with the straight conductor, a circular loop, and a student solenoid. Now in this video I would like to give I would like to cover the various topics like a force on current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, what is meant by electromagnetic induction, and we can learn about the household circuit. So let's students, we can start with our first topic 13.3, force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Before that one, students, we have to understand about Fleming's left hand rule. So students, what is Fleming's left hand rule? So, and what it gives. So Fleming's left hand, with the help of Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of force of motion of current carrying conductor in magnetic field can be identified. It means that we can identify the force is applied in which direction with the help of Fleming's left hand rule. So what is Fleming's left hand rule? It states that if we hold the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of the left hand perpendicular to each other, it means that thumb, forefinger, first finger and second finger are available at 90 degree, or we can say that mutually perpendicular to each other. Then the forefinger points in the direction of the magnetic field. It means that students, you can see it in second diagram that thumb represent the force, first finger represent the magnetic field, and the second finger is representing the current. Then the thumb shows the direction of the force of the conductor. So what is a Fleming's left hand rule? It states that if we hold the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of the left hand perpendicular to each other such that the forefinger points in the direction of the magnetic field, the middle finger points in the direction of the current, and the thumb shows the direction of the force or motion of the conductor. So with the help of thumb we can find in which direction the force is applied. So let's start with our first topic, that force on a conductor carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Students, Ampere suggested that if the current carrying conductor produces a magnetic field and exerts a force on a magnet, then magnet should also exert the force on a current carrying conductor. It means that here we are going to learn that when we have to keep a magnet nearby a current carrying conductor, so conductor can displace. Let's take the example. You can see it in the figure that we have hang the aluminum rod with the help of wires, and we can pass the electricity in it, and nearby we have take the horseshoe magnet. So you understand this example, if an aluminum rod is suspended horizontally by a wire between the poles of the horseshoe magnet and current is passed through the wire, then the aluminum rod is displaced. If the direction of current is reverse, then direction of displacement is also reverse. It means that first we have to arrange all the apparatus, and then we will switch on the battery, and when we take nearby this magnet, this rod will displace. Now students, if we will change the terminal of the battery, then its direction is also reverse. It should be moved, but it is moved in opposite direction. The force exerted is maximum if the conductor is perpendicular to magnetic it. So when force is maximum, both the things are perpendicular to each other, at that time force is maximum. So here from this activity we can understand that current carrying conductor can displace when we have to take a magnet nearby it. Okay, now next topic, what is meant by electromagnetic induction? So students, the motion of the magnet with respect to the coil or change in the magnetic field induce a potential difference in the coil and produce induced current. This is called the electromagnetic induction. It means that induced current can be generated when we have to take a magnet or pass the magnet from the coil. So here there are two activities. So understand the first activity. Motion of a magnet with respect to coil produces induced current. It means that if a magnet is moved towards or away from the coil of the wire connected to the galvanometer needle shows a deflection. It means that, students, here a coil is there and we have to either we have to insert a magnet or taking out the magnet. This shows that current is induced in the coil due to the motion of the magnet. It means that we can see the movement of the galvanometer. Here we have to attach a galvanometer, and it means that we can generate the current with the help of moving object, and galvanometer needle should be deflect. Second, this is the second activity, that change in the magnetic field produce induced current. It means that how we can generate the current. So students, here we have to take two coils. We have to connect it with the battery plug key, and with the coil 1 you can see it in figure, and in coil 2 nearby we have to attach with the galvanometer. When we switch on the battery from coil 1, so coil 2 is not connected with coil 1 here, or if they are connected, so insulator should be used, and then we can see that when we switch on, at that time galvanometer needle should be deflect. So this is the second activity, change in magnetic field produce the induced current. It means that in coil 1 when we switch on, in coil 2 induced current can be generated. So for that one, take two coils of wires wood wound around a cylindrical paper roll. Connect one coil to a battery and other coil to a galvanometer. If current passes through the first coil, the galvanometer needle shows a deflection in second coil. If the current is disconnected, the needle moves in the opposite direction. This shows that current is induced due to the change in the magnetic field. So current is induced, it means current can be generated with the help of this coil 1 and coil 2, or with the help of battery attached to the coil 1, and we can say by moving the magnet, which we have learned in activity number 1. Now students, understand the Fleming's right hand rule. So direction of induced current is given by the Fleming's right hand rule. It states that if the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of the right hand is held perpendicular to each other, such that the thumb points in the direction of the motion of the conductor, the forefinger points in the direction of the magnetic field, the middle finger shows the direction of the induced current. So students, with the help of Fleming's right hand rule, we can find the direction of induced current. So in that one, thumb represent motion, you can see it in the diagram, forefinger represent the magnetic field, and middle finger represent induced current. Now students, let's understand direct and alternating current. What is meant by direct current? We can call the DC or direct current. A current that always flows in one direction only is called direct current. The current we get from a battery is a direct current. You can see it in a figure also. It moves on single line or straight line or one direction. And now second, what is meant by alternating current? A current that reverses its direction periodically is called alternating current. Most power stations in our country produce alternating current, or we can call the AC. AC changes direction every 1/100 seconds and its frequency is 50 Hz. One advantage of AC over DC is that it can be transmitted over long distances without much loss of energy. Now students, you can see it here, alternating current, and you can see it in the diagram, it giving you the curved type of line. Now students, let's understand the domestic electric circuit, household circuit. This is the general diagram, uh, red wire, black wire and green wire we can call positive, negative and earth wire also. So electric power to homes is supplied through the mains. It has two wires. One is live wire, which is called positive wire with red insulation, and the other is neutral wire with negative, or we can also call negative wire with black insulation. The potential difference between the two wires is 220 volt. The earth wire with green insulation is connected to the metal plate kept in the ground. Two separate circuits are used in our domestic electric circuit. One is for 15 ampere appliances with high power rating like geysers, air condition, etc. The other is 5 ampere for fans, bulb, etc. The different appliances connected in parallel, so the every appliances get equal voltage, and even one switch is off, the other are not affected. It means that this household circuit is all the appliances are connected in parallel, so when we can separately switch on or off that particular device. Now students, we have to learn certain terms used in this domestic electric circuit, or we can use certain electric components like fuse. So what's its use and how it's work, that's we are going to learn in this particular slide. So let's first learn about the electric fuse. Electric fuse is a safety device used in electric circuits to protect the circuit and appliances from damage due to overloading and short circuit. It means it can protect us from the overloading and short circuit. It is a wire having a high resistance and low melting point. It exceeds the current flows through the circuit. The fuse wire melts and breaks the circuit. Fuse wire is made of metal or an alloys of metal like lead, tin, aluminum and copper. Fuse wire is connected in series with the live wire. So this way it should be connected, and it is protect us from the overloading and short circuiting, or in common word we can say that when fluctuation of power will be there, it should be protect our all appliances and our household circuit. Now students, let's understand another concept of overloading. What is meant by overloading? Overloading is caused due to the increase in voltage, or if the live wire and neutral wire comes in the contact, or if too many appliances are connected to single socket. So this way overloading can occur. It results in overheating of the wires and can cause the damage to the circuit and appliances. So due to this high voltage, overloading can occur and it damage our all appliances, TV, fridge and other appliances. Now students, understand about the short circuit. Short circuit is caused when the live wire and neutral wire comes in the contact and the current suddenly increase in the circuit. When live wire and neutral wire comes into contact with each other, short circuit can occur. It causes spark, fire and damage to the circuit and appliances. So that is one reason that due to the short circuit we are damaging all our appliances, and there will be a fire can occur in our household. So for preventing measure, we have to use the fuse. Now students, so I am giving you few questions for your homework, so you should write in your physics notebook. The first question is write the Fleming's left hand rule. The second question is write the Fleming's right hand rule. Third question is what is electromagnetic induction. Fourth is what is fuse, and fifth one is define overloading and short circuit. So you write in your physics notebook this question and learn this question. Okay, thank you very much students.